welcome back to the channel. Happy Father's Day to all the good dads, not the deadbeat dads. To all you deadbeat dads, just stay away. Let the stepdads, boyfriends, the guys who are engaged to their child, children, his mom, let them be the good dads. Just you deadbeat dads, just stay in the dumpster that you were. You're a toilet baby. You're a toilet baby. Let's go back to the dumpster. Anyway, so all you good dads, happy Father's Day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to my dad for being a great, great dad. Anyways, with that being said, let's get to this video. I'm very interested. This is from Jubilee, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, YouTube channels. This is if men were 100% honest. Let's get to it. Let's check the sound quality. I got my AC going. It's hot. See, I don't have any t-shirts, so I have to wear this and leave it open because I'm poor. Let's get to it. Men were 100% honest.
One night when I was at one of the church members' houses, I was molested, and I went and I told my mother. I'll never forget what she said to me. She was like, "You can't ever tell anyone that this happened, this didn't happen, don't talk about it." The thing that's really interesting about secrets, and the reason why I was willing to talk about this today, is because that secret ate me alive. So every single time I talk about this, it's me taking my power back just a little bit.
In partnership with Unlikely Collaborators, we've designed a perception box.
I can't tell you how many stories I've heard online about kids in any religion, not just Catholic. I'm Catholic, but in all types of religion, where they were molested by some church member, a priest, father, someone in religion, someone in the church, someone in the temple, any type of religion, not just Catholic. How many times someone later in life, when they're older, have come out and said that they were molested, and how many times that they told their parents or some adult, and the adult saying, just don't say anything, stay quiet, and that's total BS. If you're ever molested, ever raped, do not stay quiet. Report it to the police, please. I'm gonna tippy toe off this and go to rape. 1 in every 3 females in their lifetime will be raped. That's true. That's statistics. Go Google it. Not right now, but Google it. And only, I think it's 27 or 28% every year end up reporting it. If you're raped, please do not be afraid. Do not be scared. First, go to the hospital. They say go to the hospital first. Say you've been raped. And it's the doctors, it's the nurses, it's a law. They have to call the police and tell them that I have a rape victim. So they'll give you a rape test. If you don't report it, then that monster is going to go and continue to rape. It's like, hey, I got away with it. I'm going to do it again and again and again until they're caught. Please report it. Anyways, let's get back to this.
So why? These are their answers.
Sometimes I feel like I can't truly be a man comfortably in public.
Now, if this is your secret and you'd like to step forward and claim it and share your story, you may do so on 3. 1, 2, 3.
My primary function is to create balance.
Jeremy Renner. Thank God he survived. Jeremy Renner.
I came out as transgender when I was 14 years old, right after my father passed away. My dad was very abusive and very homophobic, so I never came out due to just being scared of what my life would be like. So as soon as he passed away, I came out to my mom, who was always on my side. She was one of my biggest fans. And as I went through high school, I had a very on top of the world feeling. I loved what it felt like to be myself. It was the best thing that I had ever experienced. In my junior year, towards the end of the year, I was walking into the bathroom and somebody followed me in there and grabbed me by my neck and threw me into the wall and choked me and held me there until I was basically begging for mercy. And I went to my school about it and they didn't do anything. They told me that because it happened in the bathroom, it wasn't something that they could prove actually happened. So I didn't tell anyone for months. I just let it eat away at me. I just went to school every day terrified for my life. Between that and how much I was drinking, that was what finalized my decision to drop out. But it was also what kind of taught me that I can't live in this little hole that I was living in. I decided that the only way that I should be living my life was fully as myself. So I pushed through and I finished high school early, and I was able to enjoy my first real year being me, and it was the best decision I ever made. But I still feel as if when I go in public, I can't truly be who I am. I feel like everyone's looking at me all the time. I feel like everyone's views are being pushed onto me. My community really needs it right now. It's really sad to go online every day and see my trans brothers and sisters getting killed, getting murdered. So it's really important for me to stand up now because my generation really needs it.
If you don't like transgender people, if you don't like gay people, fine. Just don't talk to them. Stay away from them. Why harm them? Why commit a hate crime? If you don't like someone, stay away from them. Don't talk to them. If you don't like transgender people, if you don't like gay people, stay away from them. Don't talk to them. Why do we have to commit a hate crime? This reminds me, he also said that he went to the school principal and everything, and they didn't believe him. He was in the bathroom, they couldn't prove it. I hear the same things about bullies. people who are bullied. They go to school, and the school says, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. Bullshit. If your life was on the line, do you think you could do something? Hell yeah. Your life's on the line. If you don't do something about these bullies in your school, you're gonna die if you don't. Then they would come up with something. They would do something. There would be like an automatic, maybe the next day after the principal or whatever, they thought of something panicky, do like what's it called? You have all the kids going to gymnasium, the auditorium. You talk to them, and I forget what it's called. Whatever, I don't care. They would do something. They would do something. They don't want to do anything. There's nothing we can do. I've heard stories of parents, I'm not going to say which school, but parents going to the superintendent, and the superintendent saying, can we just keep this quiet, keep it on down low? We don't want to give our school and our town a bad reputation.
Anyone can relate to Jaden's secret. They step forward on 3.
If anyone can relate, just a second, I'm gonna. Anyone see my fat self? I don't care. If anyone can relate, come forward in 3.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, someone stood up.
Hi. For me, I grew up in a very religious and almost like traditional household. I'm openly queer, and I feel like a lot of times, like especially like the way I dress, like I'm very more like flamboyant, more feminine presenting. So I feel like a lot of my family members, they look down on that. Just like from my past situations, like I've worn like full on pink from head to toe, like, and out and about, and I've had like other men like take pictures of me, laugh at me, like make fun of me. I even had like other like male like figures and like, even like kids like poke fun at me, being like, oh yeah, like why are you so gay, and like calling me
Why?
like that, and like. And I think at that time I didn't really know what those words meant, so that even kind of like even hits worse, knowing that like I don't even know what that means, and you're just saying all these negative terms at me. So in addition to like why I'm standing here, I feel like I can openly share that with you because I feel like you've been able to open that kind of like safe space for me to share.
I'm really glad I was able to do that for you.
I was arrested for attempted murder.
Is that person going to step forward? I was arrested for attempted murder. Oh, so they...
Explaining complex topics can be challenging. Highlight the text you want to simplify and let Grammarly rewrite it.
Came forward.
I just got caught up in a nasty fight, and at the time I believed my best option was to kill him. I was afraid, and I was already wounded, so I decided to stab him to death. But I wasn't able to finish the job, thankfully. That was a miracle in itself. So I was sent to jail, and by the grace of God, I was released. That was a miracle in itself as well. But the real secret is, I used to be a person full of hatred and anger, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't already have thoughts of killing him, and I had let my anger and resentment, get the best of me. People look at me and think like, oh, he's harmless, like, he's not this big tough guy, he's not gonna hurt you. Really, I'm hiding these demons that I don't want you to see. So yeah, after I got out of jail, I felt a lot of remorse because I saw the pain and sorrow it brought to my family, and my mom had to sit me down, and she was disappointed in me and ashamed of me, and that destroyed me. It was kind of like a wake-up call for me. It's like, damn, Jonathan, you got a fucking problem here. I prayed to God for forgiveness. I apologized to my victim, actually, and I asked him to forgive me too, which was really difficult to do. But I realized I wasn't able to forgive myself, and I was having like PTSD flashbacks. I couldn't sleep, and seeing the moment where he was bleeding out on the floor, squirming and going cold, and it haunted me for a very long time.
Thank God the
I had a
person
really good therapist
survived.
who taught me anger management, helped me through my trauma. I got deep into like journaling, and I'm still in the journey right now. I'm getting a lot better. I actually almost got fired from my job because I almost beat up my coworker. Sorry, Mom. But I'm giving myself grace because I'm proud of myself that I didn't act like the unhealed version of myself would have. So the main thing I had to learn was giving myself compassion, learning that it's okay. It's understandable that I was acting like that because of what I went through in my childhood. But teaching myself, rewiring my brain to learn that it's safe and that
He almost beat
I'm not
up
in
his
danger and I don't have to fight
coworker.
anymore.
He needs to try a little harder.
The reason why I share this story is because I want anyone that shares a similar experience to know that you are not bad. You are not the villain. You are just hurt and you're carrying a lot of pain. Trust me when I tell you, you can heal and you can change. Just know that you are good and that you are still worthy of love.
Yes, you are. But you gotta work harder. 2 people standing up.
You just hit the nail on the head. I mean, grace, compassion for yourself. Everything that you said, you are such an inspiration, man. And I'm glad that you shared.
For me, I really related with like the you were talking about you having anger issues. My whole family knows I have anger issues, and it's just like I've been trying to like cope with it in several different ways. One being the gym, like that's like my main, like everything that like I collect everything that I'm mad at, and just kind of like it's like throwing wood in a furnace and everything smoothing up and everything.
Yeah, I feel like I spent a lot of my life channeling the anger, allowing it to fuel up and going to the gym, and finding
Most
ways
guys
to
with
change.
anger issues.
I've got the boxer's fracture, after punching walls as well.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that
commit domestic abuse.
I stopped channeling that hatred and that anger, and stopped using that as my fire when my life really got better, because there's a way to find this forgiveness, this grace, this self-love, this self-respect, and this acknowledgement of this divine purpose. Right? When we put all that together, and you can channel that, and you can get even stronger and push even more weight.
I like what the other guy said.
Right?
He
There's
goes
a journey
to
to go on.
He goes to the
It
gym.
takes time.
That's a
It takes
good
grace.
thing.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah.
anger issues, go to the
It's
gym.
been difficult navigating my relationships and rebuilding my life since I was sexually assaulted.
Is it the guy from the beginning? No, it's a new guy.
Imagine not being able to hear the words of Allah, the words of the Quran that earn us hasanat for every...
It's a white dude. You look scared.
So, about 2 years ago, I was a valet driver, and one of the coworkers had asked if I wanted to hang out. I'd blown him off a couple times.
And then eventually I was getting off one night and he asked if I wanted to hang out. You know, he said there were a couple of his friends coming over to his place. So
2 years ago?
I said, why not? And I get over there and it was just us two. And so I thought, you know, this is a little strange. He said that his friends ended up bailing, so I said, okay, I'll leave here in like an hour or two. He had given me a drink. We'd started drinking a little bit, and I was probably only about a beer or two in, and I just started feeling just completely drunk, as if I drank like 5 or 6 or 10 beers. You know,
Guy
just completely
drugged him.
intoxicated. The last thing I remember was just passing out, and then I wake up, and it was 13 hours later. I was in a hospital bed. I was pretty confused. The nurse comes up and she says, hey, just wait 1 minute. So they were checking me out, they were getting me out there, and I just start remembering back, and I get bits and pieces of just, you know, like, just little moments of, you know, just while I'm sleeping, just getting touched or getting grabbed and stuff like that. And so it just started rushing back to me, and, you know, just looking at the nurse and saying, hey, I'll just say, I think I got raped. And so, you know, she kind of laughed it off, said, no, you just had too much to drink last night, because I guess I'd been there for so many hours. So I get checked out, I go outside. I remember calling my mom. I just remember telling her that, just, hey, Ma, I think I had gotten raped last night. And I remember her initial response was that she laughed and said, no, there's no way that happened. I don't know if that's the exact word she said, but it was something along those lines. And I just remember just instantly blowing up, and I started yelling in the phone. You know, I was yelling out front of the hospital. As the day kept progressing, I just kept remembering more and more of what had happened. I talked to a couple mental health experts. I talked to a couple police officers. But ultimately they just sent me on my way and told me that they would just get somebody to investigate it. And I felt pretty alone after that. I felt pretty isolated. I just didn't feel adequate. I didn't feel as if I was a person. It's definitely, it's been a long 2 years, and I've lost a couple friends because of it. My best friend I haven't talked to in over 1.5 years. And I mean, truth be told, that's just because the guy that did that to me, he was gay, and I had trusted him in that aspect, and my best friend was gay, and so it kind of carried over into that of, oh, I can trust you, you know, like my best friend, you know, I've been able to trust him.
Oh my gosh. He's not gay. He was raped by a gay man after he was drugged. He told the nurse. She laughed it off and said, no, he just had too much to drink. This was 13 hours later, and he wakes up in a hospital. I mean, how did he get there? Did this guy who raped him take him to the hospital? The nurse laughed. See, that's the thing. People give so much respect to police officers, firefighters, military, nurses, teachers. Not all of them are good. Not all of them are good. I've been in the hospital. I've had, I think it's like 10 ambulance rides, 13 stays in the hospital. Not because of, well, the last time was because of alcohol. I almost died when I was an alcoholic. I'm 8 years sober, never going back. But the other ones weren't, they were related to health stuff. Some of the nurses were just wonderful, and the other nurses were just like mean. And it's the same with doctors. People that respect. There's good and there's bad. There's nice people in their professions, and there's mean people in their professions. That nurse who laughed and said, "No, you just had too much to drink," that's a bad nurse. He called his mom. She laughed it off and said, "No, you didn't." If I called my mom and told her, I would have been crying, and she would have been like, "Where are you at right now? You know, me and your dad, we're on our way. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We're on our way. We're gonna figure this out." She would have been crying. Same with parents. Some parents, mom and dads, are good parents. Some parents are not good parents. Some moms are good, some moms are good, some dads are good, some moms are bad, some dads are bad. But this poor guy, oh my gosh. And he lost his best friend who was gay. Deadbeat friend. Deadbeat best friend. So-called best friend. That best friend who he hasn't talked to for 2 years since this happened. Go yourself. Go yourself.
I've been able to sleep in the same room as him, live in the same room as him. It's sad not having him, not having you in my life, buddy, but
you're better off.
I feel like the walls that I have built up right now protected me for a little bit there, but I'm trying to work on breaking them down. And for a long time I had hate and just a pure hatred in my heart. I just have to get through that. It's just something that you have to get past and that you have to grow with. It's not going to leave me. Yeah.
Is anyone going to stand?
Hi, Mark Bargan, Sandy Hook Promise here.
I see
When
this
the gunman shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary
ad
School
all the time.
December 14th, 2012.
It just makes me
He
sad.
loaded his AR-15.
Anyone going to stand up? Oh, four of the guys stand up.
My heart goes out to you, man. I think we live in a really odd space and time where when men bring this to the table, it's automatically dismissed. And I'm sorry that you're dealing with that.
Exactly. Men get raped too. Men get raped too.
And I believe you. Just know you're not alone. The thing that's been the most difficult to overcome is being able to accept love. What I've come to realize is no matter what happens, I'll never be what I was before that moment. We've been hurt, and we feel alone, and we feel isolated. You gotta see you're not. And that to me has been the greatest sense of...
He's crying.
Hope. You're brave as fuck for sharing that, man. Sorry you have that experience, but you're not alone.
My sophomore and my junior year, I was molested, raped, and sexually assaulted by 4 of my very close friends at separate times.
It's the transgender one who was in the bathroom. What did he say?
Sorry you have that experience, but you're not alone.
My sophomore and my junior year, I was molested, raped, and sexually assaulted by 4 of my very close friends at separate times. It was a really dehumanizing experience for me. It was very isolating. I had just come out, so I didn't really have a ton of friends. My girlfriend and my best friend, they really saved my life. And my best friend Christian, he really redefined what it's like to be a man for me. It's like my brother. And my girlfriend, this is the first time that I ever felt like someone could really love me as a man, and that was really
He was raped
great for me. So they really saved me
by
from those
4 of his
situations, but I
friends
always still think about
on
things that
separate
happened to me.
occasions.
So I just wanted to thank you all for sharing, because I wouldn't have said that if you guys didn't.
Thank you.
Yes, Ryan.
Sometimes I feel uncomfortable in a group of men.
It's an older man in his 60s, 70s.
I guess when I was a toddler was when it started. My mother was married to my father, who was a problem drinker, and they fought a lot. That's one of my earliest memories, in fact. And I guess I wasn't until fairly recently I found out he hit her. I never really felt to be very masculine growing up. I was terrible in sports. I was afraid of balls, and I was bullied. In fact, it wasn't until I was 19 that I stood up to any bullies and actually got into a real fight with anybody. But I guess that's kind of been how it is for me. I still associate masculinity with toxic masculinity. I'm told that they're different. As I've gotten older, I've been drinking more and more. And when I'm in bars, most of the patrons are men, of course. While I've never witnessed a bar fight, I guess there's always the thought in the back of my mind, maybe this is going to be the one time when I go to this dive bar, I'm actually going to see fists fly or glasses fly across the room, and it does kind
I'm
of
gonna
make me a little
skip this
bit nervous.
one. This
The
is
early associations I have.
With my guy friends much. I think it's something that I have to kind of constantly work on, with knowing that just because some men are not what I expect them to be, doesn't mean that I should kind of hold that perception of them still.
I was molested in the church, and my mom made me swear to never tell anyone.
Oh, this is the guy from in the beginning. Yeah. Or always tell.
We grew up in the Mormon church, which is super weird because we also grew up in the hood and we were in poverty. And so you look back at that and it's this very strange experience. My mother and her drug addiction and my stepfather being absent kind of led us to wherever. And one night when I was at one of the church members' houses, I was molested. And I thought that when that happened, it was normal. Because I didn't know, because I was a child. And, when you're in 4th grade or something, you kind of do one of those very first, good touch, bad touch classes. And I was oh, shit, this wasn't actually good. And I told my mother. I'll never forget what she said to me. She was you can't ever tell anyone that this happened, this didn't happen, don't talk about this. I understand, the why behind it. The church was unbelievably, giving to my family. A lot of our food came from the pantry. Our rent was often paid from the tithings. And I think that the fear that she had in that was if this got exposed, we would lose that lifeline. And I kept that secret for 27 years. And the thing that's really interesting about secrets, and the reason why I was willing to talk about this today, is because that secret ate me alive. I mean, it is probably, out of a lot of really fucked up things that have happened to me in my life, it was probably the worst thing. That's where I lost my experience of childhood. I mean, there's the cuts and the scars and the burns, and the physical and mental abuse that I went through, but this was different. I was in survival mode. I was just trying to do whatever it took to make it through day to day. And that's how I started doing drugs when I was 12, and fighting all the time and hooking up with people and going down this path of self-destruction. A lot of people have asked me over the years
That's
how
what
I
it
feel
does.
about my mother telling me that and hiding that secret and keeping it until I'm 27 years old. And the thing that I always come back to is
Rotten
that's
mom.
just the human experience.
It's a rotten mom.
I don't know what to say other than that.
If she's
when
dead,
I think about who I've become,
I hope she's burning in hell.
there has been a tremendous amount of healing that has had to take place in order for me to be here right now. I mean, the pain of that experience not only destroyed my life, but it put me in this place where I attempted to kill myself twice. Statistically, you can go to a website, it's called 1in6.org. 1 in 6 men have been sexually abused at some point.
The 1 in 6 statistic. Yes, it's hard to believe. There's strong scientific evidence. At least 1 in 6 men have been sexually abused or assaulted. Like I said, 1 in 3 females will be raped in their lifetime. So for men, it's 1 in 6. When people think of like being molested, being raped, they automatically assume women, females. It's men too. And if you bury it like that stupid deadbeat mom did, told her son to do, it's gonna, like he said, it ate him alive. He tried to kill himself twice. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let that happen to you. It caused him to drink, do drugs, get into fights, have anger issues. He tried to kill himself twice. Thank God it didn't go through.
In their life. And it's the biggest, darkest secret that we keep. So every single time I talk about this, it's me taking my power back just a little bit.
I'm gonna end the video there. Not much time left, but I don't want the video to be too long.
Actually, how do I sign that?
Ads, YouTube. Kind of startled me, like, what? I paused it. How did it unpause? Anyways, yeah. Everyone has secrets. If you're watching this, you might have secrets. You might have been molested or raped. Don't keep it inside. Go to the police as soon as it happens. If you are doing drugs, have anger issues, try and you need therapy. There's so many people that are in therapy, so many celebrities that are in therapy. If you go to therapy, I promise you'll feel a lot better. See, getting stuff off your chest helps. It helps. When you bottle it up, it comes out in a bad way. Anger issues, and they're directed at people that don't deserve it. Committing domestic abuse, beating up people, trying to kill yourself. Go to therapy. Get into therapy. It will help you. It will change your life. It does. It's like crying. If you need to cry, cry. They say if you build up, like if you need to cry and you just hold it in, like over time, it can help cause a stroke or a heart attack. Crying is good. They say it's good to cry every once in a while. It's good for the body. It's good for the heart. It's good for your insides. It's good for your soul to let it all out. And when I need to cry, I let it out. Like when my Aunt Leanne died 15 days ago. You know, I still cry. It's been a couple days. But I feel better afterwards, getting it out. Don't be one of those guys. Oh, men don't cry. Real men don't cry. Fine, be a so-called real man. You have a heart attack or a stroke when you're 35 or something like that. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Once again, happy Father's Day to all you good dads out there. And if you're not a father, happy Father's Day to your father, if he's a good dad, not a deadbeat dad. Please share, comment, like. I love comments. Makes me happy. Anyways, like always and forever, take care, be safe, peace everyone.